In the world of personal finance, understanding the difference between assets and liabilities can be the dividing line between wealth creation and financial struggle. Yet many people confuse the two or fail to recognize how their daily decisions are shaping either a future of abundance or a life of mounting debt. Simply put, assets put money in your pocket, while liabilities take money out. But this basic definition hides deeper, more nuanced differences. By examining how assets contribute to financial independence and how liabilities quietly erode your net worth, you can begin making smarter, future-oriented choices. This video dives into the top 10 eye-opening differences between building assets and growing liabilities, offering clear examples and practical insight that could transform how you handle money. 1. Cash flow direction. Income versus expense. The most fundamental difference between assets and liabilities is the direction of cash flow. An asset, such as a rental property or a dividend-paying stock, generates income or appreciates in value. It either pays you directly or increases your net worth over time. A liability, like a car loan or credit card debt, requires regular payments, often with interest, and diminishes your cash reserves. Understanding this dynamic can shift your priorities. Instead of accumulating items that cost you money, you'll start acquiring things that pay you or grow in value. 2. Wealth accumulation versus wealth drain. Building assets is a long-term strategy for growing wealth, whereas accumulating liabilities is a slow bleed on your financial health. Assets like real estate, stocks, or businesses can compound in value, producing returns that multiply over time. In contrast, liabilities tend to come with interest costs, depreciation, and maintenance that slowly drain your bank account. For example, a leased car may feel like a necessity, but it rarely holds its value and continues costing money long after purchase, whereas an investment in index funds steadily increases your net worth with little upkeep. 3. Balance sheet impact. Positive versus negative net worth. Your net worth, calculated by subtracting liabilities from assets, is directly shaped by the kind of financial decisions you make. Acquiring more assets increases your positive net worth, making you financially stronger and better prepared for emergencies or opportunities. On the flip side, accumulating liabilities increases your negative net worth, leaving you vulnerable to financial shocks like job loss or rising interest rates. Keeping an eye on your balance sheet, much like a business would, ensures you're making decisions that build financial strength rather than undermining it. 4. Appreciation versus depreciation. Assets typically appreciate or maintain their value over time. Real estate can increase in market value, stocks can gain price and pay dividends, and businesses can become more profitable. Liabilities, especially material possessions bought on credit, tend to depreciate rapidly. A new car loses a significant percentage of its value the moment it's driven off the lot. Electronics, furniture, and even trendy clothing lose resale value quickly, leaving you with debt on items worth far less than you paid. Prioritizing appreciating assets over depreciating purchases is a critical habit of the financially savvy. 5. Control versus obligation. Assets often provide you with greater financial control and flexibility, while liabilities create obligations that must be met regardless of your circumstances. For instance, owning a portfolio of rental properties gives you leverage and options. You can sell, refinance, or increase rent. However, owing money on credit cards or personal loans locks you into fixed payments, with penalties if you're late. Control is a form of freedom in personal finance, and choosing assets over liabilities expands your control over your money and future. 6. Passive income versus ongoing expense. An asset can produce passive income, requiring minimal effort after initial investment. For example, dividends from stocks, royalties from intellectual property, or rent from real estate can all continue to earn you money while you sleep. Liabilities, however, create ongoing expenses that you must actively pay. A financed luxury watch or high-end home may give you short-term satisfaction, but the payments never stop. Building streams of passive income through assets is one of the clearest paths to financial independence. 7. Financial literacy indicator. Your ratio of assets to liabilities is a strong indicator of your financial literacy. Those who understand personal finance know that prioritizing asset accumulation leads to long-term stability and freedom. People who accumulate liabilities often do so from a lack of understanding, falling prey to lifestyle inflation, marketing pressure, or short-term gratification. The ability to distinguish between a purchase that adds value and one that adds debt is a clear sign of financial maturity and education. 8. Emergency resilience. Assets can help you survive financial downturns, while liabilities can amplify financial crises. If you lose your job, assets like savings, investments, or a second income from a rental can help you stay afloat. On the other hand, if your monthly obligations include car payments, mortgage on a second home, student loans, and high-interest credit cards, your situation could spiral quickly. Assets provide cushion and liquidity, while liabilities tighten the noose when income stops or emergencies strike. 9. Wealth mindset versus consumption mindset. Building assets reflects a wealth mindset, the belief in delayed gratification, long-term planning, and financial freedom. In contrast, growing liabilities often comes from a consumption mindset, which prioritizes appearance, immediate pleasure, and status symbols. People with a wealth mindset live below their means, invest in learning and growth, and acquire things that produce value. Those focused on consumption often chase upgrades, brand names, and lifestyle upgrades without considering the long-term impact. Cultivating a wealth mindset is foundational for escaping the cycle of debt. 10. Future value creation versus present value drain. Assets are investments in your future self. They work for you even when you're not working. Liabilities, meanwhile, often serve only your present desires, offering fleeting satisfaction in exchange for long-term financial burden. A contribution to a retirement account today means compounded growth for decades. Taking out a loan for a luxury vacation gives you a memory, sure, but it's a costly one you'll still be paying off long after the trip is forgotten. Shifting your habits to value future gains over present consumption is key to sustainable wealth. Understanding the stark differences between building assets and growing liabilities is one of the most powerful shifts you can make on your financial journey. While liabilities can provide short-term comfort or perceived status, they often come with hidden costs and long-term consequences. Assets, on the other hand, create opportunities, income, and lasting wealth. By recognizing the direction your financial decisions are taking you, toward asset building or liability accumulation, you can regain control and create a future defined by choice rather than obligation. Let this guide serve as a wake-up call to audit your spending, rethink your priorities, and start investing in a life built on financial strength, not financial strain.